Hi, my name is Misty from Designs by Misty Blue, and I just wanted to talk. So, I've made some posts on my social media and in my blogs and talked about my chronic illnesses. I haven't really gone in depth per se. I guess I have a little, I've tried, but I thought I'd make a video about it. So, a couple years ago, I'd gone to my eye doctor and he was like, everything's looking pretty good, but you have macular degeneration. And I'm like, oh God, that sounds pretty serious. And he's like, oh, no, it's fine. Just take some vitamins and you'll be good. So you take these special vitamins and you should be A-okay. And I'm like, okay, just gut instinct here. It didn't feel right. So I looked into it, and macular degeneration is a big deal. So I went to an optometrist, went to a different doctor, and he's like, oh yeah, macular degeneration is a huge deal. And he's like, what do you do with your life? What do you do? And I'm like, I'm an artist. And he's like, okay, we have got to take care of this for sure. A, because it's important no matter who you are, but B, if you're a visual artist, your eyes are your life. And I'm like, absolutely. I love color. Color means so much to me. I just love color, and it kills me to think that maybe one day I won't be able to see color. Maybe I won't be able to see my loved ones' faces. So, at any rate, the doctor told me that I needed to take a genetic test to see, a timeline of when I could go blind, because that's what macular degeneration is. It can cause blindness, and usually it affects the elderly, but sometimes in cases like mine it can affect younger people. So took this test, and it said I would be blind within 10 years. Now keep in mind, this was 2 years ago. So I feel like I'm living on borrowed time, really, here. But I do take the vitamins. The vitamins are supposed to help. And my eye doctor told me that that I would need to get shots in my eyes if the macular degeneration goes from dry to wet. The wet kind is the worst kind. And I really don't want to get shots in my eyes, but I will if I have to, because I want to save my vision. I want to continue to keep creating my art, and I want to continue to see my loved ones' faces. And there's so many things I feel like, I want to see, and I don't know if I'll ever get the chance, but I'd really love to see the Northern Lights. That's huge for me. I really want to see that. I'd like to go excuse me, to the coast of Oregon. I'd love to see the big trees and see the beautiful coast and the rocks on the coast, like that Cannon Beach, lighthouses. I'd love to see that, and Glacier National Park, Zion National Park. I'd like to go to places like that. I don't know if I'll ever get to, because financially, but just the thought of losing my sight and not being able to do things like that really hurt. But, like they say, it is what it is. And, every day I try to be hopeful, and every day I wake up with my eyesight is a blessing, that's for sure. But on top of my macular degeneration, I was recently diagnosed, which means a year ago, I was diagnosed with psoriatic arthritis. And that is a very bad form of arthritis. It can affect your organs, it can affect your skin, it affects your joints, your tendons. It's not unsimilar to lupus. And lupus is a very big deal as well. So, and the thing is with chronic illnesses, you can have one, but more than likely you will have more than one. And there's been studies saying that if you've, encountered traumatic childhoods, if you've been victim of abuse, you're more than likely to get chronic illnesses as a grown-up. And unfortunately, that's my case. My father was abusive, and I, just grew up with neglectful parents, and it was just really rough childhood. And to become an adult, which honestly I didn't think I'd live past the age of 17 because of what was going on at home. But here I am, 41, going on 42, and I'm trying to deal with my trauma and heal from it now. But it's taken a long time to get here, because as soon as I hit 18, as soon as I moved out of my parents' home, I thought, well, once I'm out of that environment, I'm okay. I'm safe and I'm good. But that's not how trauma works. Your body remembers. And here I am, 41, dealing with anxiety, dealing with, things like that. And it's been hard, So art is a huge thing for me. It has always been a big part of my life, since I could hold a crayon. It was an escape for me. Art was my escape, and art has saved my life. I really believe that. So, yeah. I love art, and I really want to keep my eyesight. So I'll do whatever I need to, what I have to. But I just wanted to share with everybody, social media and things like that. You try to post the best of you. You try to share the great things, the good things, and it's not a lie. It's not a lie. It's a part of your life. It's a snapshot. So, you're trying to give others hope and joy and happiness because, that makes you feel good. You want to make a positive change in the world. So you do the best that you can. But the reality is that, there's a lot more going on than what you see. And so, although I'm trying to do these great things and all that, there's more to me than that. And dealing with chronic illness and trauma, a coping mechanism could be, to be silly and, to try to make others laugh, make yourself laugh, and have fun, because you don't want to think about it. But here I am, like I said, trying to heal from it and learning about it, learning about narcissistic abuse and, the patterns of that and how to, cope from that. So there's that, and then all my medical stuff, and it's very traumatic in itself. Here I am, 41, and having to deal with these big health issues. It's very scary, and it's lonely, and it's isolating, and it's hard for other people to understand if they're not dealing with it themselves. And you get gaslit by doctors, and it's rough. It is really rough. I have some friends who also have chronic illness, and I hear the same thing from them. Being an overweight, middle-aged woman, the world doesn't always look upon you kindly. I was always very active as a kid. I used to play football in the neighborhood with, other kids. Full-on football, like contact. None of this flag football stuff. We were tackling, and the thing is, I hardly ever got tackled because I used to run really fast, and that was fun for me. Like, my hero at the time was Emmitt Smith, because that man could run, and he was an amazing football player. And yeah, so I looked up to him, and I thought what he was doing was amazing, and I wanted to be like Emmitt Smith. And so I ran as fast as I could, and nobody could catch me. And I always upset the neighborhood boys, because no girl should be that good, but whatever. Times have changed a little bit. I still see stuff, like where guys feel that way, but whatever. We do the best that we can, and we try not to limit yourself. That's one thing that I kind of regret. When I was in middle school, at the time when I was doing the neighborhood football, one day in gym class we were playing flag football, and I was playing as hard and as good as I always did. Not to sound egotistical, but I could play. And the kids in the class didn't like it, namely the boys. And they called me Butch and Dyke and these hurtful things. And so I dialed it back a notch. I let him catch me. I let him grab the flag. And if I could go back and talk to that girl, I would say, don't do that. What are you doing? You're great. Don't listen to those buttheads. You do you. I wish I could go back and do that. That's one thing I do regret. But that's advice I can offer now, is don't dial yourself back to please others. Just do you. Do the best that you can, and people are going to hate, and that's on them. That's their problem. Don't make it yours. Don't internalize it. I know it's not easy, but yeah. So anyways, I just wanted to talk for a little bit and, let y'all know what's going on behind the scenes with me. And when I talk about my chronic illness, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Is I have other things going on with my health, but those are the big ones. So, back in 2011, I had thyroid cancer. So they removed my thyroid, and that's when they found the cancer. Luckily, it was just a small amount. I guess it had just started to be cancerous. And so I didn't need radioactive iodine or anything like that, fortunately. And here I am all these years later, and I haven't gotten thyroid cancer again. Well, I mean, there's no thyroid to get cancer, but there's always the off chance that something in there could get cancer. But that hasn't happened, thank goodness. So like I said, I'm a hot mess when it comes to my health. I do so much to try and feel better. Supplements, go to the doctor, walk. There for a while, I was going to the gym every other day before the pandemic. I'd lost 30 pounds, and I should have been feeling better, but I wasn't. So I don't know. Just that's the nature of chronic illness. You can be doing everything right, and you're still going to be sick. There's just no way around it. You can do the best that you can and still be overweight. Like I said, I used to be really active. I would rollerblade, I would bicycle, I would swim, I would hike, I would walk. I would do so many things physically because it made me happy. I loved being physical. I loved getting out there and being active. I loved being outside. And I still would, were I not limited by my health. And I still try to stay active. Like I said, I do walk, and I was going to the gym every other day before the pandemic. If you hear noises out there, it's my dogs. They're all walking around in my kiddo's home, so he's in there walking around with the dogs. But anyways, so yeah, every day is, I don't want to say a struggle, but sometimes it can be. I've learned that with chronic illness, you have to take it a day at a time. Sometimes you have to take it a moment at a time, because there could be parts of the day I feel good, and there's other parts of the day where I feel like absolute crap. And so I do what I can when I can. And that's the takeaway here, is just live your life. Just live your life the best that you can. And if you're going through things with your health, I know it feels like you're alone, but I know that there's millions of people out there who deal with chronic illness every day. And I have joined groups on Facebook to talk to people in similar situations as myself, and that is how I have made friends with chronic illnesses, is through social media. So social media can have its downsides, but there are some good things too, for sure. But anyways, just wanted to share that about myself. If you have any questions or want to share your stories, I would love to hear them. And I might not, I'm not going to give you medical advice, but I could definitely share, what's, my experience has been. So, but yeah, I will continue to keep doing my best and living my life and trying to keep hope alive. And, I will still be making art until I can't. And hopefully I keep my eyesight. Now, one of my favorite living artists is John Bramblett, and if you've heard of him or are aware of him, he is visually impaired, but he paints. So he'll feel the canvas, and he can feel the viscosity of the paints and know the color just through the viscosity, which is amazing to me. But he does that, and he makes these amazing works of art. So check him out if you haven't. But John Bramblett, Bramblitt. So check him out. He's on social media, and he's amazing. And he's an artist here in Texas too, so that's even cooler too. But yeah, he's cool, and he gives me hope that if I do go blind, that maybe I'll be able to continue working, be able to keep doing my art. Because, even if I don't turn a profit with my art, I know that it helps me mentally and emotionally, and it does touch some people's lives. And even if I touch one person's life, you know, that's something. That is something. My goal is to have my artwork licensed. I think that would be great to have my work on products all over the world. So I'm trying to work towards that. I'm trying to do the research and find out about that. I reached out to the Bright agency a couple of times, but I know there's a lot more agencies out there. So it could be just, you know, a matter of going and trying several agencies, but I definitely need to do more research and figure that out. But that's the hope. And, you know, since the pandemic, I haven't been able to do booths. I did like one booth last Halloween around that time, and, you know, I wore a face mask and everything like that. But now in my state, you know, they've rescinded the mask mandates, so you don't see as many people wearing masks like you were. And having chronic illness, you know, I don't feel exactly very safe in the world right now. So I'm not really doing booths, unfortunately, which really stinks, because I like seeing people and their smiling faces and getting to talk to them about my art, and, you know, and just seeing the joy on their faces when they walk up and see something that they like. I think that's really cool. And so I miss that. I definitely miss that. I did open my very own website about a month ago or so, and, you know, I've had a little bit of traffic through there, and I'm hoping it just, you know, keeps going from there. Trying to build a social media and things like that it's been pretty difficult, because, you know, I'm an introvert, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and now with this pandemic and everything, it's been extremely hard. But here I am. I'm trying, that's for sure. And I'm trying not to get discouraged. And I'm just trying, you know, to keep hope alive and just keep going. That's all I can do. That's what I'm trying to do. So, one step at a time, baby steps, deep breaths, you know. But anyways, thanks for listening. I know this has been kind of a long video, but I appreciate you taking the time and watching and liking and commenting, and I really appreciate when you subscribe. Right now I've only got eight subscribers, and I know that's not very many, but I appreciate each and every one of you. And you know, if you know someone who likes art like I make, let them know I'm here, please. I really appreciate it. And, you know, I really want more eyes on my work, and I want to, you know, build a community around it. I think that would be great. But thank you, and you take care, and I'll talk to you more soon, and hopefully, you know, you'll see more of my art. So, all right, thanks for listening. Bye.